Hey guys, I want to talk to you today about a memory training technique or method that I really have not talked about, believe it or not, on all of these YouTube videos that I've done over the last several years. And it's a technique or a system, a method known as the PEG system, And I don't really talk about it or on these videos that much because I don't rely on it that much. If you've watched my videos, you know the method that I tend to rely on is the mind palace, where I will memorize spots in a location. That swimming pool, that chair, that table, and I will attach what I want to remember to those locations. I love that. But let me tell you what the PEG system is first, and then I'll tell you, then you can decide which one you want to use. Here's the PEG system. The PEG system is where you think of a word and associate that with a number. So there was a guy named Harry Lorayne. He wrote a memory book back in the 50s, and he made a PEG system. And his number one, he said, was going to be a tie, like a tie you wear. His number two was Noah, like Noah's Ark. His number three was his mom, Ma. Number three's mom or Ma. So he created a picture for every number. Here's another example of a PEG system. This one's a little bit easier to remember. It's where you think of a word that rhymes with that number. So number one is run, two is shoe, three is tree, four is door, five is hive. So you have pegs, words that you associate with a number. So one run, two shoe, three tree, four door, five hive. So boom, I say what's three, you say tree. I say what's four, you say door. I say what's two, and you say shoe. I say what's one, and you say run. So you get to where you know them real well. And here's what the PEG system enables you to do. Number one, it gives you pictures for numbers. So right now, if I said I want you to memorize a string of numbers, and you already have pictures for numbers, one is run, two is shoe, three is tree, four is door, and five is hive, then you could use those pictures to memorize the numbers. And you can apply it with the memory palace. Here's what I mean. Let's take the number 532. So 5 is hive. So in your memory palace, and if you don't know what the memory palace is, I'll have a link down below in the description where you can get a full video on what the mind palace is. But let's say your picture for the number 5 is a hive, a beehive, right? So the first digit you want to remember is 5. So you imagine a beehive floating in the pool. The next digit you want to remember is 3. 3 is tree. So let's say the next piece of furniture is that chair. You see a tree growing out of that chair. And then the next one you want to remember is 2. 2 is shoe. So there's shoes on the table. Then to remember that, you got a beehive in the pool. 5 is hive. A tree growing out of the chair. 3 is tree. And 2 is a shoe. So the PEG system does a couple things. Number one, it gives you pictures for numbers, and that would enable you to memorize a string of numbers if you're only going to do one digit at a time, which is not really efficient. I think it's better to have pictures for every 2-digit or 3-digit number. But here's the more practical application to the PEG system. If 1 is run, 2 is shoe, 3 is tree, 4 is door, and 5 is hive, and you have 5 words you want to remember, and let's say the words are book. The first word is book. So you take the word book and you attach that to your first word on your PEG list. 1, run. So now you see a book and it's being thrown at somebody's running, and you're throwing a book at them. 2, shoe. Let's say the next word you want to remember is water. So you imagine water pouring into a shoe. 3, tree. Let's say the next word you want to remember is a phone, like a cell phone. So you imagine you're throwing your phone into the tree, or cell phones are growing out of the tree. So in other words, what a PEG list enables you to do is to attach what you want to remember to that list. And then to recall it, you just go back to the PEG list. 1, run. Okay, we were throwing a book at them. Book's the word to remember. 2, shoe. What was in the shoe? Water. 3, tree. What was the word we attached to the tree? Phones. So here's the thing with the PEG system. if you had a peg word for every digit, you could then attach words to that and memorize it using that system. I don't use a peg system to memorize. It's just not what I use. I use the mind palace where I visualize stuff. So instead of seeing books being thrown at somebody running, I would imagine books in the pool. Instead of imagining water pouring into a shoe, I would imagine water on that chair. I like that method better because I think it's easier just to look around a room or look around an area and see words than it is to think of 1 run, 2 shoe, 3 tree, 4 door, 5 hive. With that said, I have used the peg system. Some of you know that I memorized everybody who died in the war in Afghanistan in the order of their death. There's 2,300 of them. What most people don't know is exactly how I did that. And I attached the first 1,000 people to my peg. I have a 1,000 peg list system. And that's a whole other video. But I do use it. I do use a peg system, but it's very rare. It's not my primary method of memorizing. My primary method of memorizing is using the mind palace. So if you, I will comment. I'll leave in the description down below of this video. Number 1, my links to the mind palace, but also I'll give you my personal peg words for 0 to 10. I have actually peg words for 0 to 1,000, but I'll put 0 to 10 down in the comments below. Basically, 0 is a donut because it looks like a donut. 1 is a pencil because it looks like a pencil. 2 is a duck's neck because it's shaped like a 2. 3 is a pyramid because it has 3 sides. 4 is a box because it has 4 sides. 5 is a star because it's 5 points on a star. 6 is an elephant because here's the body of the elephant and the elephant's trunk. 7 is dice, lucky 7, 7 come 11. 8 is a snowman because it's shaped like an 8, and 9 is balloon because of the shape of the balloon. And 10 is a fork and a plate because a fork looks like a 1 and a plate looks like a 0. 1, 0, 10. So I do have a peg system all the way up to 1,000. Down below, you'll see my link to the Mind Palace. If you want to get my memory tips and ideas on how I created 0 to 1,000, it's in my Black Belt Memory course, which is my best memory course. Click the link down below, enter your email address, and I'll send you a free gift. It's exactly what you need to go to the next level in memory. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. Hopefully you understand a little bit more about what a peg system is versus the Mind Palace technique. But give me a thumbs up. Please comment. Tell me if you use a peg system. And we always appreciate subscribes, likes, and we love talking about memory. Let me know what your memory questions are. I'll make another video. Thank you.